What's going on, guys? So we're here in my house, and this is just a quick kind of tip for people that have an issue like we do. So we live in a house that was built in the 50s, and being that I actually work in the lumber market, which most people don't know, but back in the day a 2x4 actually meant it was a 2x4. Nowadays, there's nominal and there's actual, right? So, the problem with that, though, is this house was built using materials that are bigger than what materials are found in the store today. With that said, we are looking to upgrade the home, as we just purchased it, a couple years ago, and I just finished that basement, if you didn't see my basement build. And now that the basement looks so nice, we're trying to make the upstairs look just as nice as that new basement that I just built. So with that said, I bought this pre-hung 6-panel door with frame. And the problem is that the wall actual is 4 3/4 thick. But new age door frames and all the new, once you got your stud and your 2 layers of drywall, your standard door frames are now 4 9/16. So that leaves us with a problem. We're going to have a gap. So what I've come up with a solution is I have framed out the door flush with the outside wall, so on my hallway. And on the inside, what I'm using is actually a 1/4 round trim for things like cabinets and whatnot. So what I'll show you here is what I'm using. So I found this 1/4 inch trim that's in the same golden oak. Unfortunately, the store that I went to today is different than the last one that I showed you, because I have one that's already done, I'll show you, and then here I'm in the process of it, so I thought I'd show you again. So the new stuff that I have is just a standard oak, and I'm going to have to just do a quick finish stain to this, which is really easy, and you're not going to see much of it anyways. But here is a pre-finished golden oak versus just a standard oak. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this nice 1/4 inch trim, and basically if we look, alright, this side is nice and flush, right? This side, however, is going to have a gap. And we're going to use this trim, and I'm going to put it on the outside before I put the actual trim up around the door. And that's going to give us that gap distance so that we don't have this. And it actually looks very nice too. So once it's on, you really can't notice. You'd have to point it out to someone before they notice, but it is a really quick, easy way of dealing with a problem from an older home like this. So what I did on this top one is I cut it down, and I'm not even doing any miters. I'm just literally just putting them end to end, butt to butt, however you want to call it. I'm not doing a nice miter because I'm going to do that with the trim, and then it still looks like the door frame. And on this one, I'm not using any nails because once I put the trim on, the nail will go through that too. I just did a layer of wood glue, and then I used these clamps to hold it in place until it dries. So this has been on there for a couple minutes here. I should be able to take this off. Oh yeah. And now I got my trim up there. So if I take my triangle or my square, oh, that's dead nuts. That is great. Now that is just a simple solution, and now I can go ahead and finish the 2 sides. I'm going to cut this down, and I'm just going to glue them right to the existing door frame, just like that. I'm going to do both sides, just like that, and then we'll go ahead and trim the door. So let me show you one that I've already done and see if you can, tell the difference. But it's a very subtle way of fixing an issue like this. Here's a door that I already finished. I got all the trim, and like I said, we flushed it to the front side so you don't see anything, but even when you open it, you can see this quarter round, and I'll show you here, but unless we really point it out, you don't know what's there, and then we trimmed again. So I think it turned out really clean. Let's take a look from the other side. So here's the opposite side. I have my trim on. Yes, it is in the staircase, so you're down, and I look tall for the first time in my life. But you can see just this nice, it looks just like this, like the regular door frame from this side. And there is this little line in there, but I think it adds a little bit of, personality to the door and makes it look a little bit nicer. But once you get the trim around, it looks just like the frame. And this is all stained and finished in the same color. So if you do have a house from the 50s or whatever year it is, and your doors just don't fit unless you do a custom frame, I don't think it's really necessary. You can still buy a standard door frame. You just need to buy this quarter round trim and add it, and you'll be just fine. So there it is. I still got to go in and fill in the pinholes, but I got the new trim, the new door, and you can't even tell that I got a quarter round on it. So once it's all done, it's beautiful. It just blends right into the door. So I hope this helps you guys. For anybody that has an older house that used larger, normal size wood that was actually a 2x4, not a nominal 2x4, but an actual. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask me, but thanks for watching.